Now we're live, and we're
Now we're
recording.
live.
Now
All
we're
right.
live, and then we're in the group. So
How do we
we have a
know?
few.
No.
We have a few. Well, if you go over to the group, you can actually bring up the group live and see it live as well. But I've got dual screens, and that makes it easy for me to do it.
Well,
So
you're
I've
just
got
too
you over here.
fancy. You're blurry now. Your face is all
I
blurry.
know, I know. It does that once in a while. It'll go back. It'll go back normal.
How do I know who's here?
I'll let you know when they pop in.
Oh,
Jessica's in here.
she's cool.
Not who
She
else
gets
is in here?
things. She gets the party started.
Jennifer Marlowe's in here. Daniel Sermon's in here.
Also,
So they'll ask questions. I'll ask questions as we go along. So
but I can't see the questions, right?
I can. Yes, I can. You may not be able to see the questions, but
Oh,
I
I
can see
see.
the
It
questions.
says two per. Oh, that's just us. Wait, I'm
That's
gonna try
just
to click
us.
the chat.
So live from Wine with Woodson, we have the head owl and the author of Out of the Box Owl, Mary Shannon Moore. I'm gonna call her Mary Shannon all night because that's what I do. I know Mary's her name, but it's like Mary Shannon. It's the girl from Saturday Night Live.
Nice.
So it is what it is. So how old is the group at this point?
I
You're the
started
head
it.
owl. You're the head owl of
I
this.
am the
You're the
head.
head owl.
That's right. So I started it December 15th of 2015, but it didn't really get going until
I came on.
till you came on to get the party going. That's when things
Whatever.
got rocking. Now it didn't really get going till like into January or so, and it wasn't like I just made it for a place for my agents to chat. And then one of my agents was like, "Do you mind if I invite a friend of mine? Because it's really cool what you're teaching." So I was like, "Yeah, no, go ahead." And that friend turned into almost 30,000 friends. So
So we're narrowing in on 30,000 at this point.
we are. That's crazy. So it's been about a year and a half, almost.
Wow.
So
Nearly
yeah,
30,000 a year and a half. And it's been a very busy year and a half because I think I'm even on vacation. I find myself tuning in. I am blurry for some reason.
yeah. What's going on?
It's my
Focus it.
camera.
Really?
There you go. See, I'm
Oh,
better. He's
there.
got to tap it once. He's got to fuck with the camera once in a while.
All right. We're back in
So,
business.
even when I find I'm on vacation, I find myself popping into the group at least once or twice a day
Me
because
too.
I can't help it.
Yeah, it's probably all those notifications.
I do get a lot of notifications every day. Someone wants to
Yeah.
join, or someone's getting monstered.
Oh yeah, true. Yep.
Andrew, the good news is, Andrew, she can't see your questions or see your snide comments. So if you want to be snide, you gotta pop onto the live feed.
We should have Andrew on here. Where is he? Doesn't he usually? The thing is with this Wine with Woodson, it's too late. My husband goes to bed and then I can't tune in because he's like, "Oh, are you kidding me?" You know. So, and we
Well,
have a smaller
I think
house.
we're gonna start doing it about this. If I get a good showing tonight, we're gonna start doing it about this time every week.
I mean, I'm up, but to actually have audio on, I guess I could put headphones in, maybe.
Oh
But
yeah, don't forget we have modern technology called headphones.
that would work. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I'll think about that. So that's why I usually miss it because
You
I'll
pop
be
on once
trying
in a
to
while,
sleep. Yeah, I'll hop on for a few minutes once in a while and then out of here.
and you're
But
down in Florida. What part of
I
Florida are you
am
from? Around Fort Myers?
Southwest, above Fort Myers. I'm on Palm Island, which nobody really knows where that is, but it's kind of south of Sarasota, north of
Yep.
Fort Myers.
Okay.
So,
I've got a condo in Punta Gorda.
oh yeah, Punta Gorda
I
is my area, my territory.
but I rent it out. I never go to it at this point.
Really? Wow. It's a cool
I,
area, but Punta Gorda is like 45 minutes from the beach. So,
I
it's
got
more
a
of a
pool and
boating
golf course.
place.
Is all that matters to me.
Well, then you're good to go. Perfect place, Punta Gorda.
So what did I do with my notes? What did I do with
Ooh,
my
I don't
notes?
know what the notes are. You didn't brief me. Hopefully I can answer them.
That's all part of the magic of the show.
Oh, okay. Non-scripted.
We're mostly unprepared.
Awesome. My kind of interview.
As Jessica says, Punta Gorda is Dave's only Florida reference point. I know where St. Pete is. So,
That's north of me.
because I'm a Buccaneers fan.
Ooh,
We, we, we,
your
we, we,
camera
we,
keeps trying to focus.
I know it's jacked up tonight for some
So I
reason.
have something really exciting. Should I tell it now or should I wait till the very end?
Let's entice him to the end.
Okay.
You
I
have, you
have
have a
a
special
really
announcement. You have a special announcement that you want to wait till the very end.
okay.
And I've got to announce the wine. My wine tonight is Graphagina. I'm probably saying it wrong. It's a Malbec, of course. Are you drinking with
So
me
do you
tonight or not?
drink? I'm not. I don't even have any wine here. I don't think I have a wine rack, but nothing's in it. Just kind of for show.
This
So,
this is always for show, always for the show purposes. I drink
yeah.
wine.
Yeah. So do you drink the whole bottle?
I generally drink the whole bottle in
Whoa.
an hour,
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
and that's why this is not this is why this show is not safe for work.
Great.
So because
Pretty hardcore.
it does get it, and when we say Zillow, we drink.
Oh, is that like a rule? Like a drinking game?
Yes, and when we swear, we drink.
Ooh, that could
So
be.
it could be dangerous.
That could be.
So recently did some open houses? I understand.
I did. I did 14 in one day. It was crazy. In four different counties, like a 100-mile radius.
So what did you learn from your recent mega open house campaign?
Okay, so what I learned is I got great action on Facebook, like the actual ads, but hardly anyone came to the open house from the Facebook ad, which I thought was kind of, I was expecting a better turnout from the Facebook ad. But we actually got a lot of buyers from the ad itself, but they didn't come to the open house. It seemed like one of the best things was the big feather flags because I ordered 15-foot feather, the big, huge ones. So I ordered 15 of them. We used 14 of them. And a lot of people said they saw them from the flags or from the MLS, which spilled over, of course, to Zillow. So you market open house in the MLS, and then Zillow, Realtor.com, and all that picks it up. So those were the two best things that we did were the huge feather flags and marking it as an open house in the MLS. But we got a lot of buyers, like I said, just from the ad itself, but they didn't really translate to showing up at the open house. So I think it was pretty successful. My agents were pretty happy about it. We're going to do another one for a different builder this Sunday. I think we're going to do half that many though.
Now, when you say these are for builders, are they established neighborhoods or not established neighborhoods?
They were both. The one that well, they were builders and a few non-builders because I had an agent sit his own listing. I sat a listing that I had. So it was kind of a mix of both, but mainly for one specific builder. I think there were 12 that were for one builder and two for just listings that we had that we wanted to try out and just throw in there. So, and they were both. I mean, some were like on main roads, and the weird thing is, the ones that were on the main highways had way less traffic than the ones that were in the boonies. Like I sat one, and I thought I was going to talk to my assistant about stuff that we have coming up, and I'm like, all right, I'll sit this one. We should be able to get a lot of work done while we're here. We were slammed. So I was kind of surprised with that. I thought we would have not many people come in at all. So
So my question is, did you get any contracts out of the open houses?
we have three, I believe, that came out of the open houses.
So
So
I would call that a success.
yeah, and a bunch of people are working with. We have three builder contracts out of the open houses. So, and like I said, we have a bunch that are working with people that just came in and they're, not ready to buy a house right now. So I would say for the amount that I spent and for spending just a few hours on a Sunday, it was pretty successful. I
What
mean,
was your ad spend? Can I ask?
my ad spend was $1,500 and the builder paid half.
Nice.
So out of mine, it was $750, and we had 14 houses that we put in that ad. So you divide that up between 14 houses, that's not much, you know?
Billy Golightly has a question. He goes, what percentage of the open house viewers were nosy neighbors? Were you able to
Um,
decipher that or not?
yeah, because we actually gave away a $200 gift card, so we had everybody sign in. I think each open house got one nosy neighbor. So we probably had 14 nosy neighbors. And then most of the open houses got 10 to 12 people in them, which, I mean, it's not crazy big, but all you need is a few good buyers. And the ones, like I said, Facebook, they didn't see it. It was mainly the flags and the Zillow, coming from Zillow and Realtor.com via the MLS open house. So I feel like it was a pretty good success.
And
And
you
we're
got to
going to
remember,
try it
Billy.
again this Sunday with a builder who's a little bit more high end. This one would be more of like a first time home buyer builder, the one that we did a couple weeks ago. And the one that we're doing this Sunday, we're going to do 7. And instead of doing 4 different counties, I'm going to make it more in one area. So they can go from one to the next to the next. The other way, it wasn't really possible.
Right.
So
And you got to
uh,
remember this, Billy. Nosy neighbors sell houses as well.
true, yeah.
So,
So I come up with all
'cause,
kinds of different ideas and just test them out and see what works the best. Does this work? Does that work? Is it a different day? Is it, these houses that we're doing this Sunday, 2 agents are sitting their own, or 3 agents are sitting their own houses that they have listings. And I think I have another 5 or 6 that are sitting the houses, and they're about a half million. And it's another builder. And I think a lot of people, I don't know what it is. They're afraid to approach builders, or they don't understand how to do it, or what it entails, or how it works. But Dave,
sorry. And my
what is
wife
that?
knows that
Mario
I love.
Brothers? Mario Brothers? Invite
Mary,
your wife to the
I'm
party.
doing wine with Woodson. She knows that. She knows I'm
Hmm.
on the air, and she's called me anyway.
Oh gosh. So, anyways, with the builder thing, I feel like a lot of agents, that's a big question with agents. They don't know, how to approach them or how to, get their business. I think we have 18 right now builders that we market for. So,
Okay. So how do you approach it? How do you approach a builder? Because that's something that I've been trying to break into a little bit, and I've had nothing but a hard time getting into that.
well, for me, I mean,
Whether it's my own shortcomings or not.
one of the good things for me is that everybody knows me in the area because of my extensive marketing. So when you mention my company, people know Green Lion Realty because they see it all the time, every day, because that's on their newsfeed. So I always tell my agents, when you're going in to talk to a builder, mention the company, and a lot of times um, they'll be receptive to it just because they've seen it all over. I'm at the point where I have builders reach out to me and ask if I can market for them. So, but when I was first doing it, what I did is I would do my research. So I got an Excel spreadsheet and I researched every single builder in town, the affordable builders, the mid-range, the luxury, and I made a spreadsheet and I would put the square footage, I would put what they include in their houses, what's standard, what's the starting prices of the various square footage. And so I had a spreadsheet and I knew what everybody was charging. And then I went out to see the different houses. So I want to know if I'm going to go talk to a builder, I want to know if, Adams Homes or Lennar or whatever it is, I want to know how I can compare it to their house. So I looked at every single builder in my town. Then what I did is I went and I pulled permits. And in my city, you can pull the permits online. So I can see, that Adams Homes has pulled, 50 permits in the last 3 months, and their best-selling model is the 1755 square foot model. So then when I'm going in to approach a builder, I can use that information and, say, oh, I know that other builders in this category would be Adams Homes, would be Lennar, would be DR Horton, whatever the builders are, and they're offering this, or they're doing this, or their product looks like this. So if you can talk with them and show them that you are interested in their product and that you bring knowledge to the table, a lot of times they'll be receptive to have you market their product. So that's generally, like I said, if you're doing research and you know what you're talking about, and of course, builders love it when you say, oh, that's a great idea to, have this finish there or include that or this incentive or what have you. So they like it when you compliment their product and, um, show that you're interested in what they have to say and sell. So those are a few little tips on how to get builders. Really, it's doing a lot of research.
I was taking notes.
Exactly. Okay. So it's, and then, like I said, once you start advertising for different builders, right now I have builders, I have a beauty shop, I have pawn shops, I have all kinds of people just because of I can market a glass of water, really, I can market a table. It's just knowing how to market it. So now I'm having other businesses reach out to me and ask me to market for them. I get my hair done, it looks great. Take pictures of it, I'll mark it for you. And then they think it's great. And then, you can use them and charge them to market. So she was like, I don't understand how to do this. And so the whole time I was getting my hair done, I said, let me make an ad for you and we'll see how it goes. So she's picked up, I think, 6 clients and it's been less than a week.
Wow.
And she was, yeah. So it's like you just target like highlights, hair cutting, shampoo, stuff for hair salons, other hair salons in the area. So it's not only with real estate, I can market whatever, flower shops or hair salons. So I'm kind of at this point branching out um, to other avenues to help other people market as well.
So, are you becoming a real estate roller that markets, or a roller that is a content company?
Well, my I love marketing. I'm not so great at the tech end of it, which is why I'm still trying to set the whole thing up. Um, but my passion is marketing. I can look at something and say, this is how you should market it. And I love real estate too. So I think my love is still with real estate and with marketing, but I just find it interesting to see, it's kind of a challenge for me, to see, okay, can I do this? Can I really turn this, idea with real estate into a hair salon or flower shop or a pawn shop and right now I'm saying, yeah, I can, the results have been fantastic. So, I guess that's my answer.
To take one step back real quick, Carla asked, how far out should you start marketing or start advertising your open houses on Facebook?
2 weeks. And I know a lot of people are like, whoa, that's a long time out, but I want people to be able to plan to go to this thing. So I usually try to do 2 weeks out, sometimes 10 days, 8 days, but I try to do 2 weeks. It gives it, you know, a while to get on everybody's feed. For people need to see it a few times. They may see it and then go, oh yeah, might be something to, it's, obviously professional marketers say you have to see it, what, 6, 7 times to stick in somebody's head. So I've had
Right.
people that have come to the open houses that have said, yeah, I saw it and then I couldn't find it again. And then it popped up and then I wrote it down, or I saw it a few times and then I felt like it was meant to be, like I had to be there because it just kept coming up on my
Just kept
newsfeed
coming
all
up.
the time. So
Right.
I like to get it out there and have people say, oh, I keep seeing it over and over and over. So,
Hold on. She asked another question. So hold on.
okay.
You are outstanding. You are extending together. Shannon, you can do anything. She's like the Wolf of Wall Street in real
Oh,
estate. Oh,
oh, thank
she's
you.
just trying to butter you up.
Oh, thank you. You all are so nice. And then, like I said, when I come up with new ideas, I bring them into the owl page and say, hey, I came up with this. What do you all think? Sometimes I test them out ahead of time and see how they go and then bring you the results. But a lot of times I'm just like, hey, what do you think about this idea? I'm constantly coming up with new ideas, new marketing, new tips, tricks, and so forth. So sometimes I'll test them out on my agents first. They're kind of my guinea pigs, and then bring them into the group.
And now I see you're doing more video all the time. Hold on a second. Hold on. I see you're doing more video all the time, and you're interviewing local businesses. And I saw
Hmm.
you're doing the pawn shop the other day, today or yesterday. I saw it.
Hmm.
And what's been your feedback so far on that?
People love it. They keep sending me messages and saying, when is the net? And I'm like, it's Weird Item Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we're going to have a new weird item. And then they want to guess the item at the end, because I try to have something. I didn't this last week, but I try to have something that they can guess and then give out a gift certificate or a gift card or something like that. But they seem to really, really like it. They want to know what is coming up for the next week, and I'm like, you're gonna have to tune in to see. So it's been great, and it's a great way to just get out there in the community. And I try to wear a weird dress as well for Weird Item Wednesday. So the first week it was a lemon dress. This last week it was a crab. I have bright red crabs all over my dress. So people are like, the lady with the weird dress, the one that so I try to get into the whole character of being weird. And then I have a seahorse dress that I wore one week. And I actually spent one day, and I think I have 16 weeks saved up. So I just took one day and went into all these pawn shops, and I did like 3 in each pawn shop, which is why you see a different pawn shop each week, because I don't want somebody to go, oh my gosh, that lady's wearing the same dress as last week, because I did. So I brought dresses with me, and I just changed for each pawn shop. So, but I have some really cool stuff. I have like an Abe Lincoln pin, vote for Abe Lincoln, and like 1864 or something.
Oh, nice.
Um, yeah, I have just, and it's cool to interview the people. They get really into it and they're excited about, what they have, and now they're calling me. The pawn shops are calling me and going, "Is it time to do some more? It's been a few weeks since you were in." I'm like, "I did 3 weeks in each pawn shop, so I'll see you in a couple months." So the
Nice.
pawn shops are excited, the people are excited about it. They like to comment and be like, "Oh, that's a cool different item." And I've gotten a lot of private messages with people that really like them. So again, that's just another way to get your name out there. And some people will be like, "Well, what does that even have to do with real estate?" It doesn't. It's just getting your name out there in another way,
Right.
being social. So people all over recognize me because of the marketing that I do. And it's different, you know? And it's fun. People like to see things that are fun and interesting. I mean, that's why they watch Pawn Stars and Pickers, American Pickers, or what have you. So it's kind of a different thing.
So, this kind of might sound almost like a stupid question a little bit. So can you trace how much business you get from online at this point, or does it all come from online?
A good portion of mine comes from online. I try to trace it, but when I mean, an average for me is probably 500 to 700 comments in a few days on an ad. So, yes and no, because I get a lot of texts, I get a lot of emails, I get a lot of, um, I get some private messages because I tell them, and I always tell people, put at the bottom of your ad, interested, call, text, private message, or email me. Because if you don't tell them to text you, then they won't do that. And I get a ton of
Right.
texts. So sometimes it's hard to um, trace back. I try to say, where did you see it? And I get a lot of people, of course, on Facebook, because that's my thing, and that's where I spend a lot of money on. I mean, I do other things like Zillow and so forth just to have my name out there on there as well, but I'm going to cancel it in June. Um, it's just not, I mean, I can get leads for like a penny a lead. Why am I paying $30 a lead? Doesn't make sense.
Do you use a site like Conversion or Commissions Inc. or anything like that?
I don't. We actually just signed up for Real Geeks, my office did.
Okay.
And honestly, I know it has a CRM and a, website, but I don't generally, I'm really into the whole social media part of it. So I can't tell you what Real Geeks does. One of my agents said it was really good and they said we should try it out. So I said, I'll go for it. So I try to keep my agents happy and with tools that they like. So we have app files and we have Real Geeks and some other stuff, but I don't generally use them. I try to, I know what I'm good at and I mean, there's so many programs, there's conversion, commissions inc, curator, all this stuff. So I'm not a big one on buying all these crazy programs. I just like to do what I know works really well. So a lot of
And so
people do
you,
landing pages. I don't.
so you're an independent broker at this point. You own your own shop.
Yes. Yes,
How
I
many
own
how
my own
many
shop.
how many agents do
I
you
think
have?
we have 22 right now. We're not huge, but we cover a huge area. So that's kind of difficult. But I spend a lot of time with my agents. I'm not like the typical broker that just sits behind a desk. I go out with my agents to view property. I, I sit and brainstorm with them for hours. I help them make ads. I spend a lot of time with my agents, so I like the like intimate small part of my brokerage because it gives me time to spend with my agents.
So this question comes from Vicky Manley. Vicky, I'm sorry for taking so long to get to this question. Shannon, how did you get into real estate at this point?
Oh goodness. I'll try to do the short version. And by the way, Vicky's a sweetheart. We love her. Um, so the way I got into real estate, there was a house that was a four-bedroom house. I wasn't really working. I was selling men's suits on eBay. I would buy them for like $10 at Salvation Army and resell them for like 110, 120 on eBay. But I still didn't make quite enough. I didn't make an income that we could afford this house. And I was 9 months pregnant, and um, I decided, hey, I want this house. I want each of my kids to have their own bedroom. And it was four-bedroom house, and we couldn't really afford it. So I told my husband that I'm going to real estate school, and he was like, "You're 9 months pregnant. How are you gonna do this? This makes no sense at all. You're really getting a little crazy now. I think this pregnancy thing is making you a little cuckoo." So I went to real estate school, got my license. Um, my daughter, who's almost 13, she was born that same week, and Hurricane Charlie hit my town and ripped every roof off you know, just destroyed my town. That same week, I got my real estate license.
Nice.
And so I took a week or so off, and I was like, okay, how am I going to sell this? I have houses with no roofs. I have a brand new baby. I don't know if is somebody trying to tell me something? Like, is this not the right time to get into real estate? So I decided to bring my daughter with me, and I went to houses that got destroyed in Hurricane Charlie, and I met investors while looking at the houses. And that's how I started working with investors. And my broker, thank goodness, she was great with me bringing my daughter, who was an infant, to work. And sometimes I had to nurse her upstairs, or I brought her with me a lot of the times. I just winged it until and I'm like, okay, I have to come up with an idea. What can I market and what can I sell? I can't really say, hey, move to this beautiful town that just got everything, ripped apart by a major hurricane. So I started working with investors, fixing up houses that were torn apart by Hurricane Charlie. And then I started flipping lots with them. And then I work with investors for a long, long time. I like the idea of being able to go in and say, that lamp is ugly as sin. Take it down, let's redo it. Whereas if you're going to a regular listing appointment, and they put up this ugly flower wallpaper, you have to be like, oh, that's not so bad. I mean, we could work with, I'm just like, no, that sucks, take it down. So I like to be able to redesign and remold things. So basically, I got in with, and when people tell me, it's so tough, I don't want to hear that. If I got in with a brand new baby, just had a baby, hurricane tore my town apart, you can do it. There's a way. You can do it. You got this. So I don't want to hear you can't do it. How are we going to do it? How are you going to figure out how to make it work? So I'm big on, I like it when agents come to me with like, hey, I'm having an issue. How can we figure out how to work through this kind of thing? So, but that's basically how I got into real estate. It was, I was questioning myself in the beginning, and I was born and raised here in my area. So that helps a lot with just knowing the area, knowing people, that kind of thing. So,
That's my problem. People know me. No, I'm kidding.
ah,
No,
no.
I'm actually pretty well liked. I'm kind of a jerk sometimes, but that's part of my charm.
Oh.
Part of the Dave. Part of being the
Is
Dave.
Andrew being silent? Or are you just not telling me what he's saying?
He's not saying a word. I think Maribel canned him. She
Oh,
kicked him off.
oh. Yeah, I'm
I'll
surprised. Usually,
start calling him out.
yeah. I can't believe he's so quiet.
I can't either. He's not even on the big screen here. He
Goodness.
he has the link to get on.
Well, where is he then?
I
Is he
don't
even?
know.
Wow.
It's almost better that he's not on, believe it or not.
Really?
We're on track. Things are getting said right. We're moving along.
Okay.
We don't put up the snart ass comments.
And watch, he's gonna pop up in the corner.
Any second now.
Any
I'm
second.
taunting him.
Yeah.
Um. So someone asked earlier today when I asked Jessica's. Someone asked earlier today, what can an agent do in an oversaturated market? What can a new agent do in an oversaturated market?
I think make yourself stand out. There's so many agents. There was an agent the other day, I don't remember her name, but she posted that Dorothy video. I'm sure you guys saw that. The Dorothy one where she was like out in the woods trying to find the house and then she clicks her heels. And people like humor and they like things that are different. Just stop doing I'm at this open house, although I did that a few weeks ago, but I usually don't. Think of things that are cool, crazy, unusual to get people's attention. People are so tired of the whole, just posting listings on your Facebook page, or um, try to think of things that are different. Again, out of the box, different ideas, different ways to market things. Be creative. And that's how you'll stand out. If it's an oversaturated market, probably 99% of the agents are doing the same thing. They're buying the same programs, talking about the same thing, marketing in the same way, because that's how, they're using whatever it is, the auto post things on Facebook. Please stop. Nobody likes them. You know, just just being upfront with you. Nobody cares about that big kitchen that looks like it came out of Architectural Digest. Really, they don't. So stop doing that.
That's the biggest issue I have with a lot of these auto posts. They don't fit my market. I
Even
the,
if they
the
do fit your market, I don't care. Don't do them, please. And Facebook dings
I
you.
agree.
Facebook dings you for that. A lot of people don't realize if you're auto posting, you're going to be paying more for your actual sponsored ads. So
Advice from the Queen.
So don't do it. Don't use those auto posts. I can't every day at 5:30. I think I'm friends with about 4,000 of my 5,000 friends on Facebook. Every day at 5:30, I get like 600 of the same post. And I have to scroll for like 10 minutes down it because it's the same picture 1,000 or 4,000 times. It's crazy.
So
I don't know why
Misha,
people think that's a good idea.
so Misha has a question.
Okay.
We had Misha on last week. He's the German with the southern accent.
Oh yeah. With the spike
But
thing, he has like a thing, or no?
yeah, he does.
And
He
his
does.
picture, he's got
He
like a.
does. I'm
Okay.
faux hawk.
Yeah, exactly.
What is your daily budget for Facebook ads?
Daily budget probably around $400, something like that.
Daily?
Mm-hmm.
Daily? Wow.
Mm-hmm. Daily.
Holy cow, wow.
Yeah, I'm a big spender on Facebook. It's where I spend the majority of my marketing money. So, but I get, like I said, I probably have 30 ads running at any time. That's a lot of ads,
It is.
you know, maybe
So
500. Just depends on
so
what I'm doing.
per ad, but how about per ad? Do you know about per ad?
Per ad, per ad, I generally spend about $20 a day. And when I test them, I do $20 a day for 2 weeks. But like I said, sometimes I think I have 45 ads going right now, something like that.
Holy
45.
cow!
Yeah.
So you
Oh,
don't need Zillow at all.
yeah.
You don't.
I don't need Zillow.
And when you have
I
real
just,
geeks, when you have real geeks running and rolling, you should be able to be quadrupling your quadrupling your leads. I would think at some point.
yeah, like I said, I don't really know. We're supposed to have a training on Friday, my office is, but um, I try not to focus too much on all these like shiny objects. I'm not a big proponent for paying a ton of money and all that. So I'm kind of doing it because my agents requested that I do it, so they have a decent Facebook page and I had Lion Desk as a CRM and they want to switch over to Real Geeks, which, and for me, it makes more sense because I think they have something where it's like 15 plus agents, it's one set price. Whereas Lion
Ah,
Desk, it's like $20 per agent. And if you have 500, it's still $20 per agent. So
okay.
financially, it makes more sense for me to do that. Um, my thing is like trying to figure out, I need to where I'm at with my agents is I need to do more intensive training on Facebook because I don't want the leads. I don't have time to sift through them and answer. I mean, it takes, I'm not doing lead pages or like an auto capture thing. I'm actually talking to each person. So when I'm trying to talk to hundreds of people a day, I get things like, hey, can you tell me about the house that you just posted on Facebook? Okay, well, I have 50 ads running. So which one would that be?
Right.
It's like, and then, it's conversations back and forth all day long. And I try to get the name and phone number as quickly as possible to pass it over to one of my agents because I don't have time for the, continuing conversation. It's like I have a few back and forth with them. And then it's like, great, can you give me your name and phone number so I can give that to my agent, Janie, that handles the Cape Coral area or Carrie or whoever, And the other thing is I name the person I'm giving it to. So when that person reaches out to them, there's already a connection. So I
Okay.
know in my head, I'm giving this person to this person and I'll name them. And so I found that that makes more of a bond when they reach out because they know who's reaching out to them.
Now,
So
this may or may not make sense. Do you advertise your agents' listings through your company page?
I do.
Okay.
Yep. And I pay for a lot of them too. So especially if they're newer and they're just, I use my ads and making ads with them as a teaching experience. So if you
Okay.
see an ad on my page, like there's a one from D, there's one. So I'll say, especially it's kind of a reward too. If they go out and get a new builder, I help them with that. Well, like Thursday, I'm going to go to Cape Coral and go out all day with one of my agents to get new builders for her. So I'm
Okay.
actually going with her because this is kind of her first time. Some of my agents I went with them, some I didn't. And we'll talk to the builders and see if we can get some more builders for down in that area. And then we'll sit down and make ads. And a lot of times I'll put their information on it because I don't want the contacts, but when they private message, they're private messaging Green Lion Realty, which is me,
So
you know?
I've got a quick question from Jessica because this is my follow-up question to all that. Have you considered an inside sales agent to be the voice responding to be that one voice responding to all the ads?
I have. I actually just hired a VA from Upswing, and I've never done cold calling. In fact, I'm kind of against cold calling, but I just wanted the experience of like to see how it worked, like to talk to somebody who was like on the front lines. So I did Vulcan 7, in a VA, and I'm probably going to try it out for a month just to see what happens. Because I want to be, the broker, the agent that says, okay, I've done that or I've tried that out. But to answer your question, yes. But the problem is in the very beginning of the conversation, it's so specific getting them what I call it fishing and getting them on the hook. So it's so specific how I respond to them. And especially if you have a newer agent, it's a lot of times they don't get like the casual talk. It's just right into, can I have your phone number? And it's like, whoa, we're still dating here. Like,
Yeah.
we haven't got to that part yet, so it's like, what are you looking for? What area? I have somewhat of a script, but a lot of times it goes off the script, so I follow my, so to speak, I have it on my notepad to where it says, great, thanks for asking about my new construction house. What area would you like to build in? What's your price range, square footage, and bed and bath requirements? And then, sometimes they'll go off it and say, we were looking in this community. Do you know if they accept large dogs? Do you know if, which it's not terribly hard to find that out, but a lot of times it's things that you have to do or questions that may not, do how far it is to Publix, a grocery store here?
Right. I know Publix.
Okay. All right. No, not everybody does. So I'm just making it clear. So I feel like almost like it's my baby. Like I have to get them on the hook and then I'm okay to shuttle them out to whoever. But I feel like the really tricky part is getting them to where they're like, oh, okay, you're cool to deal with, and that's why I don't like landing pages because it's so cold. You just they put their info in and you don't really know you haven't built that relationship up. So the whole, private messaging or texting, emailing, what have you, you're going back and forth. I want people to reach out to me and have a conversation with me. And I feel like I can get a lot of information and figure out if they're, really serious, and sometimes they don't answer back, and then I don't want to waste my time if I'm sending them messages and they're not, I only send my agents the ones that I get on the hook and that are, good prospects. So I don't know. I guess I'm not ready to give up the reins yet, so to speak.
So how many hours a day do you put in?
A lot of hours. A lot of times I'm up at 2, 3 in the morning answering emails. It's when it's quiet and I can really get things done. A lot of hours, but I mean, I do okay. I mean, I feel like it's worthwhile. What I'm doing is pretty successful. And it's like I said, it's not only successful in real estate, I've made it successful in other different avenues like hair and pawn shops and so forth. So, but I put a lot of time into it. I think I need to start giving up the answering myself. That's one of my things is to but I haven't found anybody that answers like I do. So it's hard for me I have a few agents that are working for me right now that I have my eye on, but I haven't found that one person that.
There's, I mean, you're like me almost. There's that area that you just don't want to get rid of. You don't want to let go of yet.
Right.
And that's one of the areas you don't want to let go of. So Carla's got another question for you. And
Okay.
we a couple more quick questions because it's 8:45. We'll get you out of here by 9. And we got
I'm fine if we run over.
We got your special announcement coming up as well. So we'll make sure everybody tune in for that. Hold on,
do you record this?
It is being recorded, and it's also recorded in the group as well. So my own broker's online right now, and Valerie.
Ooh, okay.
She's a fellow control freak. She loves you.
Oh, that's funny.
So Carla asked, what suggestion do you have for a listing appointment when the owner tells you they're interviewing other agents? What's the best thing for you to say at that point? I know what to say at that point, but what would you say at that point?
Well, usually I go in and a lot of people use the word like show my value. I just went with an agent this Saturday. She called me up and she said, it was just like I had an hour or less to get there. And it was about 45 minutes to get there. And I didn't know much of anything about the house. I looked it up on the MLS and I'm like, okay, it had pink carpet. I don't know if they've changed that since they bought it. Ran a few comps, brushed my hair, and ran out the door. So the guy had interviewed 2 agents before we got there, and his main thing is he wanted to know whether he should fix it. Had pink carpet, if he should fix it up and to what extent. So my whole thing, and again, it goes back to being social and this whole social media part of it, is to find something that you can relate to them about. Like the guy was from Canada. Like 2 years ago, I went and swam with the seals in Canada, and I talked to him about the electric cars that they plugged in Montreal. And so it's building, for me, it's really building a relationship with them. And they're going to list with the person they like, not necessarily the person that tells them that the highest price or the lowest price, or the one that they like the best is generally who they list with. So I told them things like, hey, if you could just change the knobs on the cabinets, that's a cheap fix and it'll, bring up the value. Of course, the pink carpet has to go. The light fixtures, he bought this off some old lady, and he left all the pink like draperies, the pink shower curtain, and I'm like, okay, everything pink needs to just go. So I think the main thing is, like I said, if they're interviewing, I actually like it when they interview other agents because I feel like I can usually stand my ground pretty well. The other thing I did is, since he was looking for repairs, I said, well, I know several people in the area that could come in and give you estimates on, what it would take to repair this. So we'll get them in here and we'll get them going, at least to give you estimates to see whether you want to repair it or you'd like to hire somebody else to repair it. You can look at the cost in that. So I think being helpful and kind of tying yourself into them when you're there, having them see your worth, and also not being overly friendly, but trying to relate with them, trying to find out who they are, what their goal is. Is it to just sell it as quickly as possible for as cheap as possible? Listening to them, what they have to say, and then if I have time, which I didn't in this instance, what I like to do is stalk them and see what I know it sounds kind of funny, but I do. I go online.
I do it as well. I
mean, come on, who doesn't? If you're not stalking, well, I guess I shouldn't call it stalking, but
you call it
researching, extensive research. Let's call it research. So if you're not researching extensively to figure out, so what I do is I go to the property appraiser and I look up to see who owns the property. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Smith own the property. Then I go to the clerk of the court's office and I look to see, do they have any foreclosure filings? Are they getting a divorce? Did they just get married? What else can I tell about their financial situation from the clerk of the court? And then I take that and I do a Google search, whatever their name is, put it in and see what you can find out about them. And then I look at them on Instagram, on Facebook. You'd be surprised how many people say, oh, we're moving to Pennsylvania. So here's an example. I had somebody who wanted to list their house, and I did some research about, and I found on his Facebook page that he's a trail runner. So I asked my husband's a trail runner. So I asked him like the night before and I said, hey, what kind of shoes were those shoes that you bought that were really expensive, blah, blah, blah. So we talked about trail running and where the best trails were and so on and so forth. So when I went into the listing, I saw there was a trophy of a foot on the mantle. Oddly enough, in Florida, they had a fireplace. But anyways, I knew it was probably for running because I had already researched him. So I said, what's that trophy for? And he said, oh, I'm an avid trail runner. And I said, oh my gosh, my husband is too. Have you seen those new shoes? And we got into this huge conversation about shoes, and he thought it was the best. And he said, I just felt like we clicked the best. They had 7 agents come in before me. And they said, I just felt like we, like we had a lot of things in common. I don't run even to the end of the driveway, but because I had that knowledge and knew that, he felt like he was, had some kind of connection to me for that. So I try to figure out a little bit about them before I go into the listing appointment. And I don't go in and go, oh, I saw on your Facebook page you're a trail runner. I see an opportunity to bring things up.
Are you a Gmail user?
I am a Gmail user.
There's a Gmail plugin that if they use the same email for their social apps, it'll show you how you're connected to them on social apps.
What is that? I feel like I need this app.
You will. I will post it tomorrow in the group. I can't off the top of my head. I can't think of what it's called now.
I need that. That would be like super sleuth with that.
I use it a ton because I see it. I'm connected probably more through a lot of people through LinkedIn than Facebook but I see a lot of LinkedIn connections.
Right.
And it's great for that. It's like a lineable. It's like a lineable. I'll send you the link, but I'll post it tomorrow in the group.
Okay, I feel like that would like up my stalking by like 100% with that.
It's a great. It's a great plugin for Gmail.
That's cool. Very awesome.
So Carla's got one more question because Carla's got all the good questions tonight.
Goodness.
Because I know my feelings are on designations, but what are your feelings on designations? I don't have a designation. I am
have zero. I have zero.
But the only designation that I would ever get would be a CRS.
Right.
But I have no.
I should. I don't have any. I feel like a lot of. I mean, when's the last time? I guess it's good for the education standpoint. I don't want to knock it, and I know a lot of people have designations and they're proud of them, and I think that's great. But I don't know how much they help, and I mean, when people see GRI, they don't care really. They don't. I know that some of the designations you can get referrals or what have you, or be in certain groups or but I don't have any designations. And for me, I don't know if I'm ADD or something, but I don't really like sitting in classes. I'm not a big, I find them kind of boring. Actually, webinars too. I'm just like, I wound up watching like 5 minutes and I'm like, okay, I'm bored with this.
But you better watch what you say about webinars.
I know. So I guess my attention span is not that great to sit in classes. And I feel like I'm super busy. I just don't have, I would be on my phone all the time. So I just feel like it's not productive. But I don't know. In my opinion, I just feel like they're kind of, not that necessary. And I know a lot of people are going to post and be like, I can't believe you said that. I have 15 designations and I think they are. My opinion.
It is correct. You're absolutely right. It is your opinion. But Billy, if I had to share my opinion, if you have no designation, the one classes I would take would be your CRS classes every time because it teaches you how to be a better agent. It teaches you tech. It teaches you social media. It teaches you how to basically be a better, serve your clients a lot better. So Lori Rivera, I'm saying the name wrong. Rivera. This is where we start getting into the end of the bottle, and I start
slurring. Okay.
Do you have an idea what a house should be listed for before you go into the listing appointment, and how to use that knowledge to educate your buyer if they want to be unreasonable or unrealistic in the amount they want?
Yeah, most of the time I don't even have to pull comps unless it's some kind of weird, weird type thing. But I just tell them point blank, this is what we need to list it for. I tell them I'm not in the business. I don't need practice listing houses. So, this is what, and I give them a range. It'll sell from between, most likely between 235 and 245. How quickly do you want it to sell? Where do we want to price it? So I kind of don't even leave that as an option. It's like 235 to 245. Where do you want to price it at? 45. So I try to just kind of head off, if they say I want it at 260, well, I'm not going to be listing it at that, when I generally give them the reasons why, the explanation on on why. Like I said, sometimes I'll tell them I don't need the practice of listing. I have that down, which that may not be the best answer, but I generally get the listing if I go. A lot of times they appreciate that, you know, that you're straight up.
Honesty is the best way to go. I mean, even if I go in and tell them, I said, listen, if you want to price it at 250, give me 3 days. If we get no showings in the first 3 days, then we price it too high.
Right. Sometimes I'll approach it like that.
Now I've got to drop it down here real quick. So we're at 8:54 at this point. Let's start calling it a night because I've almost finished the bottle and I'm starting to slur my words.
Goodness.
And I really do appreciate you coming on. And we've had probably the best show, one of the best shows ever. One, because Andrew's not on, and two, you're on.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Awesome.
And again, tell me who's your favorite admin?
Oh, of course you, Dave.
I appreciate
For
that. Thank you.
sure. Yes.
Because
You're
every
the
week
star.
I work the hardest.
You work hard. You work hard for the page.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So what's your big announcement?
Okay.
What's next on the horizon for Mary Shannon and the Owls?
So what I'm going to do, and I always said I'd never sell anything on the page. That was kind of like a big thing for me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing webinars. So you have some competition here, Dave. No.
I'm welcome to competition. Just don't do it Monday nights at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. So I'm going to start doing webinars. And I'm a big proponent of grassroots and not spending a ton of money on whatever it is, any program or any kind of thing. So I'm thinking I'm going to, and this is just thinking, well, it's not thinking. I actually bought a really fancy camera, a bunch of lights. I'm setting up like a whole room and all. So I'm thinking of charging like $20 a webinar because I want it to be super, really informative and give like specific things. And I also want it to be, I've never like listened to many coaches like Tom Ferry, Craig Proctor, or what have you, but the little bit that I have, it's not going to be cheerleading. It's not going to be like, you can do this, it's going to be like, this is exactly what you need to do to make this a better Facebook ad or an awesome Facebook ad. So I'd like to take people's listings or, and say, here's what you need to do specifically to get a ton of buyers or a ton of, listings. So I want to walk people through and have people like each week give me stuff. I want to talk about my new ideas and make it kind of like an exclusive little L group that I coach because I get 250 people a day plus from the L page reach out to me. I can't keep up with all those. And some of you may have heard from I hired a manager to help me answer some of the questions. So some of you may have gotten some questions answered from my manager because not only my Facebook page for my real estate company, but I get 250 private messages a day on just whatever. Can you evaluate my business Facebook page? Can you help me with this ad? Which is great, but I'd rather do it in a bigger group where everybody can kind of see what I'm doing. And I'm going to be doing webinars for my owls. And I'm really excited about it.
So when does this start?
I'm not sure what a start date. And the only thing that's holding me back is the technology part. I have a really cool camera, DSLR that I got. I have great lighting, a Rode mic. All kinds of stuff, but I'm waiting for somebody to help me set it up. So that's what
good luck with that one. So because I've answered your questions and I'm still got the limited technology as well at this point.
So I'm great with the marketing part, but not so great with the technology hooking everything up. So it depends on when I can get somebody, when I have a few minutes to have somebody come in and show me how to run this. But I do, and I got a Mac computer and I got it all set up. I just need to figure out how to get everything all hooked up together. So, but I'm really excited.
Thinking about it now, I may know one or two guys that may know something about this. So
really?
I'll run it past them.
I have a Canon, I think it's called a D80, a Canon D80 DSLR. And then I have a Mac, a desktop Mac, and But like I said, I feel like $20 per webinar, and I'll spend whatever hour and a half just brainstorming with people on how to do things, marketing. And it could be any type of marketing. I mean, marketing is my thing, whether it's Facebook or whatever, how to make things, how to create things that sell.
So
So,
you might be better off if you I don't know. We'll talk about it later down the road because we're just spitballing at this point, and I'm well. This is the last glass of the bottle at this point.
wow, Dave. I don't know if I could do that. Drink a whole bottle in like an hour?
I can.
Really?
Obviously, I can, but I can't.
Right. Holy
So
smokes, man.
it's
Yeah,
practice.
I think so.
Years of practice.
I'd be like asleep on the floor, I think, if I did that.
Oh, I'm done for the night.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm done for the night.
Holy
Any
smokes.
last words of wisdom? I got to answer one question to Pamela Rachel. Who is
Yes.
Dave Woodson? Pam, I'm one of the admins here to the group, and I'm Wine with Woodson. I've been doing this for a year now, and you haven't watched one time. I'm hurt. I'm wounded. Start watching, and you'll find out who the hell I am. We have three mutual friends, and you should take some advice from those guys. They all know who I am. Anyway, Mary Shannon, it's a pleasure having
That
you
was
on the group.
great.
Thank you for starting the group. Thank you for asking me to be an admin. God, it's been over a year that you've asked me to
I
be an admin.
know, I know. I mean, the group has been so fantastic. And I think what some people don't realize is, I'm in there giving a lot of ideas and tips and tricks, but I learned just as much from you all, I'm sure, as you do from me. So all the stuff that you share and your different ideas, like I said, that little Dorothy video that somebody made, I'm like, wow, that's creative. So a lot of times it's just some little thing that somebody posts that sparks something that, you know, gets me going in another direction that I can turn it into, something really cool. So you all help me, just as much as I help you, hopefully.
And stay tuned for next week. If you guys, you guys have any questions, reach out to Mary Shannon. I call her Mary Shannon because it's funnier. It's
My
funnier that
grandmother
way.
called me Mary Shannon.
But I can call, I say other things as well. Reach out to Mary Shannon. She's the head owl of the group. I'm one of the admins here of the group as well. You can reach me at dwoodson at gmail.com. You can text me at 219-608-9790. Reach me here in the group. Gmail me, text me, whatever you guys want to do. We'll see you guys next week. New time, same station, new time, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. So it's going to be earlier, so no more late hours. So you guys got any questions? Shoot them to me in the group. And this was recorded. It will be live here in about 20 minutes after we leave the show. And if you guys got any questions, just feel free to hit us up. Mary Shannon, thank you for being on.
Bye. Thank
Talk to
you.
you, talk to you soon.
Bye.